best terrible decision you've ever made? I'm currently hiding in a hotel bathroom at my cousin's wedding weekend, and I just need to scream into the void for a second because what is my life? This whole mess started at Thanksgiving when my cousin Kelsey announced her third engagement, because third time's the charm apparently. My mom got that look where she starts mentally calculating how many grandchildren she's not getting from me, and before she could launch into her speech I just blurted out, "Oh yeah, I'm engaged too." The table went dead silent, and then boom, everyone's screaming and hugging, and my mom's asking about venues before I even processed what I'd done. I spent the whole drive home wondering if I could convincingly fake my own death. So that Monday, I'm at work having a mental breakdown in the supply closet when Alan walks in looking for paper. We work at the same boring financial firm and usually just complain about Excel spreadsheets, but he found me crying and I told him everything. This man looks at me and with a straight face goes, "I'll do it for $2,000. Turns out his student loans are killing him. We literally wrote up a contract on his laptop surrounded by office supplies. The rules were simple. No real touching besides hand holding. We break up after Kelsey's wedding, and of course split any gifts. We should have known how screwed we were when we couldn't get our story straight at the first dinner. He said we met at a coffee shop, while I said work conference, and my sister Amy immediately smelled bullcrap. My mom didn't care though. She went full wedding planner mode and dragged us to venues I couldn't afford. I maxed out my credit card on deposits while pretending to care about flower arrangements. At one place they asked about our first dance song, and Alan panicked and said, "Don't stop believing." I wanted to die, but then he grabbed my hand and spun this whole story about how we never stopped believing we'd find each other, and even the wedding coordinator got misty. His mom found out what was going on during week 3. She called during our date night, which was actually just us eating takeout at the office. She started crying about grandchildren, and Alan looked like someone punched him. That's when he told me his ex-Priya cheated with his best friend, and he basically gave up on the whole relationship thing. Something after that shifted, almost like opening up made us bond. He started bringing me coffee without asking. I'd text him dumb memes at midnight for fun. We destroyed everyone at couples game night without even trying. My dad pulled me aside after and said he'd never seen me look so comfortable with someone, and I felt like garbage. My therapist kept calling it self-sabotage, and I was like, yes, thank you for that groundbreaking insight. My nephew's birthday party was rough. Andrew kept making snide comments about my sudden engagement, and Alan shut him down cold. Later I saw him pushing my nephew on the swings, making up these elaborate stories, and I had to leave because it felt too normal. When his ex texted wanting to talk, he showed me right away, and we both acted like it didn't matter, but I saw his hands shake. My mom called that night happy, crying about both her daughters finding love, and I actually threw up after we hung up. The guilt was eating me alive. We had this whole system going with shared calendars, joint accounts, and fake photos that looked better than most real couples. My other cousin cornered me at Kelsey's shower and said Alan looked at me like I was his whole world. I laughed it off but couldn't breathe properly after. 3 weeks before the wedding, we went cake tasting and they asked about kids, and I just lost it. I started crying right there over vanilla versus chocolate. Alan held my hand and told them we were just emotional, and I realized I wasn't crying about lying anymore. He called that night and said he couldn't keep going. Said pretending to care about me was making him realize how much he missed having something real. I reminded him about our contract, and he said screw the money, this was killing him. We agreed to get through Kelsey's wedding, then call it quits right away, instead of a few weeks later. The rehearsal dinner was brutal. Everyone kept making toasts about love and forever while Alan smiled like it physically hurt. Amy pulled me aside and said she knew something was weird, but she'd never seen me let someone in like this, and maybe I should fight for it. I found Alan on the balcony later, and we just stood there watching traffic. He asked if I ever thought about what would have happened if we met outside of work. I said yes, which definitely violated section 3 of our contract about no hypotheticals. Tomorrow's the wedding, and then we're done. Part of me wants to tell him to forget the stupid contract, but what if he just sees me as a paycheck? What if I ruined the only real friendship I've had in years by making it fake? My sister just knocked asking if I'm okay, and I don't know how to answer that because is any of this okay? Full story on channel, linked below.